On June 14th, we're having a big fight. It's never going to happen again. Never happened before. And it's all of the best fighters, the best 4 fighters standing right behind me, and all champions. And it's going to happen right in front of the White House.
Well, it's no secret the president is pumped about the UFC's Freedom fights happening on the White House lawn next month. And last week, Dana White gave us the full rundown of what to expect. But what about the fighters who are coming from all walks of life to the Oval Office and competing in this once-in-a-lifetime event? What's going through their minds? Well, we met up with 2 challengers who've been vocal supporters of our country and our president, Bo Nickal and Michael Chandler, to find out. We got a big fight coming up on June 14th. How are you feeling about it? Tell me about the moment you got the call that you were going to be part of this historic event.
It's really, really cool. I mean, obviously, as you know, Dana White is always pushing the envelope. How can we go bigger? How can we reach more people? How can we build the sport? And I would say when you get into the sport as a mixed martial artist, you want the brightest lights, the biggest names, and the biggest platform you can possibly have. And I've had some really great ones around the world, but this, by and large, by far, is the biggest and most historic.
This won't just be celebrating the 250th birthday of the country. This is actually happening on President Trump's 80th birthday. And will you be gifting him a knockout for his birthday present?
I will. The plan is to gift him a vicious finish of my opponent on his 80th birthday, on his lawn. But more than anything, I mean, I think when people think about his history in the sport of mixed martial arts, the reason this is happening was a seed that was planted decades ago between himself and Dana White. And I think ever since then, Dana has always remembered that. So, you know, he obviously frequents the fights. This will be actually my 3rd fight in a row that he will be sitting cage side at. So, I mean, it's really, really an honor to fight, not just for the fans, but for the UFC, the President of the United States.
We're here in the gym where you actually work out. What are you doing on a daily basis?
You know, the age-old saying, you know, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. But I've really honed in the last 4 weeks or so. We're in this gym 2 or 3 times a day, obviously dialing in the nutrition, dialing in the sleep, dialing in the recovery, dialing in the diet, which is a massive part of it. And I'm really excited to go do this, you know, finish this training camp out and go get my hand raised.
I'd love to see what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. I guess it sounds like almost every day the same thing.
Yeah.
So why don't we go check out your nutrition? All right, well, Michael, there's been a lot of chatter about what you eat on a day-to-day basis, a lot of speculation online. Would you care to disclose to all of us what the secret is?
I would love to. Unfortunately, I think nutrition is the most important part when you talk about a fight camp. You know, if it was just training, that would be a lot of fun, but unfortunately, we have to make weight, and fuel is obviously very important. So this is a typical
When would you eat this?
I mean, this would be breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Really?
Ish, yes.
Wow.
A lot of times I'm doing 2 decent size or 2 meals a day, and then I'm kind of just supplementing with other little high performance snacks, so to speak, but always kind of protein heavy.
Probably very few carbs, no sweets. Do you treat yourself afterward?
Afterwards, yeah. A little bit of sweets, copious amounts of carbs maybe sometimes.
We're going heavy
Some
on the
adult
carbs.
beverages, you know, have a good time, you know.
Let me ask you about your family, though. They say beside every great man is a great woman. You also have 3 kids. So talk about your family and all this. Are they watching you whenever you're out fighting? How do they support you?
Yeah, they do. I mean, obviously my daughter Drew is only 1-year-old, but my 4-year-old Ace and my 9-year-old Hap, they've watched me compete on the internet. My son's been to 2 fights. Want them both to be at this next fight. But I mean, it's just it is my why. It's why I get to do what I do. Having my wife so supportive, she's a get after it type of person, so we're so equally yoked in that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to give you the leeway that you need to fulfill your purpose so you can continue to go out there and chase your dreams, and she does the same thing for me. And then obviously building a family together, and we're so truly blessed. And that's, you know, I think more than anything, it's going to be really cool for my children to see who Dad was during his career. How did he handle the highs? How did he handle the lows? Who was he during the wins? Who was he during the losses? Some people might say, well, hey, it's a violent sport, or it's a little too barbaric. But I think it is what I was built for, and it is my purpose, and it is my calling. So therefore, for them to be with me on the ride is nothing short of amazing and special.
And, there are always people, Michael, I know it may shock you, that when President Trump gets involved in something, they have negative things to say. And no different with this UFC fight at the White House. There are people who are going to be critical about it. What would your message be to them?
I just think it's a celebration. More than anything, America, the greatest country on the planet, is celebrating its 250th anniversary. It is the president's birthday as well. It's a game changer for the sport of mixed martial arts. I mean, there's going to be millions of people who have never seen a mixed martial arts fight before, who are going to tune in just because it's on the White House. I would be one of those. I'm like, what does the venue look like?
Yeah.
What does an octagon look like on grass in front of the White House in Washington, D.C.? There's so many
outside. Yeah.
There's so many different aspects, and it's the casting of a wider net to capture people's attention into what I believe is the greatest sport on the planet.
And as the MMA veteran preps for his big fight, we sat down with another UFC Freedom 250 participant, middleweight Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, thank you so much for sitting down with us. First UFC fight ever at the White House. You are a part of it. It's celebrating the president's birthday and America's birthday. How does it feel?
Big honor, of course. Yeah, I couldn't be more pumped. I'm just spending every day prepping, getting ready. So looking forward to putting out a great performance.
I think the audience there is going to have you guys so hyped. The fact that your audience is largely comprised of service members.
Right.
How does that feel? I mean, that's a really special thing.
Having all the service members in the audience and everybody that's going to be there is going to make it so special. I feel like one of the things that I always enjoy when I get into the cage in a regular fight is seeing the people around the cage. I always see Dana, see President Trump. Like, that's such a cool thing for me. And now this is like taking that to a new level. This event is, I think, much bigger than the sport. When I look at MMA, I think of, almost a chess match of sorts, right? Like it's strategy, it's discipline, dedication. Like, these are the things that you have to be a successful fighter, and the things that I enjoy about fighting. And so I think being able to showcase those parts of the sport that people maybe don't see as much, right? Like, you see the highlights, you see the knockouts, these types of things, which are great, but you also get to kind of understand the mindset and the type of people that are competing in this sport. It's people that are, again, disciplined, dedicated, committed, and pursuing something that they're really passionate about.
I know faith is also a very big part of your life. How does it come into play for you before an event like this?
Faith for me is the foundation of everything that I do. I think that I used to view competition kind of, I guess, as like my identity, in the wins and the losses. And so when I would win, I would get a high, and when I would lose, I would be super low. And I've learned through strengthening my faith that, my identity is in Christ, and being created in the image of God, and being loved regardless of the results that I get, on the mat or in the cage. Right now, you're a dad to 2 young kids who will no doubt be looking up to you and kind of watching everything that you're doing. How important has family been in all that you've done? Yeah, massive, massive. For me, that's something that I'm just so grateful that God's blessed me with amazing family. Meeting my wife, and now with our 2 boys, I think becoming a parent and a dad has changed me a lot, as I think it would anybody. Having to humble yourself, having to kind of take a mindset of a servant rather than feeling like, always trying to serve yourself, is something that a lesson that I've been learning as of the last few years, and I'm grateful for it. But my family truly means everything to me. Just to wrap up, this is obviously such a big year for our country, 250 years of the United States of America. What is your message out there to, your fellow Americans, to maybe even the service members who are going to be there watching you fight on the White House lawn? How does it feel to be an American right now? It's such an exciting time to be an American. I'm so thankful and grateful for, the opportunities that I've been given, being able to compete at the White House as a guy who grew up in a town of 5,000 people. That's like unbelievable. And that's really what America presents, is it's the land of opportunity. And for me, that's exciting. I want people to root for each other as Americans and want each other to do better, and iron sharpens iron, improve each other. And really my message would just be to continue to focus on that, and continue to focus on gratitude for, your country, your family, the people that love you and want to support you.
Well, Bo Nickal, we know you got training to do. We know you've got a lot
Yes,
going
ma'am.
on right now. Thank you for taking some time with us, and good luck on June 14th. We'll be watching.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.